What is up? Hello everybody, it's me Waddles and welcome back to the guide. In today's episode, with the help of sweet dear Bonzo over here, we're gonna build one of the easiest to build villager breeders, and at the same time, one of the best to build ones in all of Minecraft right now. Let's do this. If you like this world and dream of playing in it yourself, well, channel members get world downloads, and patrons get early episodes, early access. And guess what? In an effort to connect closer with you, my dear sweet friend, because Twitter has gone down the drain, I made a new Instagram. Go check it out. Drop a follow. Okay, so we have a little bit of catching up to do. I've been loving this world, and just existing in it, it's cool. Other than the ominous orb in the background that is following me into real life, it's very strange. Other than that weird mishap right there, I love this world. In between episodes, I've been busy. I was decorating. So we ended last episode with this little building right here. We got the bell out front. You ring the door, it's cool. You ring the door, you open the door, and oh yeah, the villagers were, misbehaving, so they had a mishap. I put a boat there to trap them. Anyways, we got this beautiful building. We'll move them out today. But then, oh my gosh, that's handsome looking. It's strong, it's tall. We got a wall right here, but not just any wall right here. No, a beautiful, strong, retaining wall. We got the dark oak right there. We got the spruce, we got the oak wood right there. The best combination of all time. We walk up over here and immediately the path cuts to the right. We go ahead and follow this path cutting to the right, and oh my gosh, do my eyes deceive me? No, they don't. No, they don't. It didn't. It's beautiful. I made a small tree garden right over here. I was talking about it for episodes on episodes on episodes, and I mean, look, you be the judge of it. You tell me what you think down below, but I think it's nice. After the small mangrove tree grew last episode, I thought that it kind of had to be decided. This is like the perfect size. I wanted a small tree garden with every single tree in the entire world. I'm just waiting on the birch tree and the savannah tree to grow, but after that, we got it all right here in a small garden that I decorated up pretty nicely. I think it's cool. Now with this world right here, I've got a new theory. You see, I'm trying to make the best world that I've ever made before, and to make the best world that I've ever made before, I practice a new exercise called a center expansion. The center expansion. Okay, I'll admit it that I need like maybe a better name for it, but basically we pick one point in the world and keep building buildings around that one point slowly outward instead of like, say, we pick one spot near the middle of the world and kind of build out from there instead of picking a random spot like, say, all the way over there next to world record cookie farm. Which, by the way, is an exception. I had to do that one. We pick one middle center spot and build out from that spot. And that's gonna all mean that the villager breeder we're gonna build today, we need a little bit of space for it, but not the most space. I think if we built it on that hill right over there, like take the tree down, move the hive, everything like that, this whole area will feel really, really cozy. And actually almost finished. Like full and complete. And so we drop a bed down and that's where we begin. With a little bit of silk touch, actually. This thing right here is a beehive. If I harvest a beehive with silk touch, even though it's a pickaxe, look at that right there, it'll drop on the ground. After it drops on the ground, we can safely pick this beehive up and relocate it to a tree nearby, like say, that tree nearby. After that, because it's now the middle of the night, we can sleep. And then, bright and early the next morning, I will introduce you to my friend, Tree Choppers. It's kind of sad, by the way, and I almost said to do it, but that tree, that is like the perfect tree right there, the perfect shape. It complements the wall well, but it's just going to be in the way. It'll look a whole lot cooler to have a build here. Now a new character enters the multiverse, Flower Pickles, and also Rock Diggles. That's not my job, to be honest with you, but I like to be honest with you, and I'm like out of stone, cobblestone, rocks in this world. It's actually embarrassing. So if you're building along with me here today, setting this bad boy up inside of your world today, the first big thing you need to keep in mind is being loaded in. If you want your villager breeder to be fully automatic forever, well, you're gonna need to set this thing up in a spot in your world, kind of like we do with the bamboo farm over there, that is gonna be loaded in and active. Following my newfound theory of center expansion, I think right up there on that hill by Bonzo, this is gonna be perfect. Eventually, once we continue to expand this world, I think I'll have like a storage building up on the hill over there, iron farm really soon over there too, and this will be like relatively center. Now for our build today, I know a couple things. So thing number one, I want this build to be like, I don't know, like 9 or so blocks wide that way. On the length here, now I'm gonna make it a little bit longer. It'll probably end up being like 13 or something. If it ends up being 13, I'm not 100% sure, but if it does, that means it's gonna end up going all the way over to there and then cutting all the way back to there. We're gonna start our build off by making a square. The beautiful thing about a villager breeder, this one, or any kind of like modified version that you want to make, is it's so simple. They could be really compact, or technically, you can make them way bigger than this too. Now from that point, on this build today, I have a vision, and this vision, well, I mean, this is going to be at a really important spot in the world. So the build, simply put, it cannot be lacking at all. I think to make this build feel grand, tall, and big, and also important at the same time, because well, actually, thinking about it in real time as I build this build here, this is going to be a really important build. This build right here is going to be the future home of those two villagers, and the source of every villager inside of our entire world. I mean, look at the bees all over the place coming to the build. They're so happy. Now I got a vision with this build. I want to detail this. A little bit of stone on the bottom of the build could look nice, but I think to maybe make it look even more nice, we will break up the stone a little bit, texture it here with some stone brick. I mean, obviously, tone-wise, texture-wise, the stuff is pretty similar. From a distance, it'll blend in, but like not blend in too much. Then also, I was thinking maybe to add a little bit of age to the build. It's ancient villager breeder after all. We'll add a little bit of stone as well, or cobblestone, cracked stone. You know what I mean? That's ancient. And to now, the problem. Giant, sad, weeping problem. I hit a big crossroads in the build already today. You see, not only is the interior of my home dilapidated and old at this point, I need to fill it in, but also the wood that I have, I'm not exactly stocked up. The materials that we will need to build the villager breeder itself are relatively simple. I'll run through those things later, though. We'll get to it. Like a beautiful painting, we take our time layer by layer, and layer by layer. Next up, I want to start beautifying the build, and I need like 4 different wood types that I don't have any of. So right here, behind the build, actually perfect timing, a tree popped into existence. I have built this small tree farm. We'll put tree farm on the to-do list, and it's your job at this point to remind me to build a tree farm later on. Like, not like next episode or anything like that. Give me a little bit of time, but not like too much time at the same time. I'm going to use this tree farm to farm up not only oak logs, but maybe a little bit of spruce and definitely dark oak as well. Maybe jungle too. I will use small tree farm to farm up a little bit of wood because I have a vision with this build. Now, of course, I haven't tested it quite yet. As you can see, the build isn't here yet, so I don't know. Now, look, not to age myself too much or anything like that, but in my time of mining and crafting, I've done a little bit of mining, my fair share of crafting, and also a little bit of building too. I was imagining on this build we could make small little arches from a distance with like staircases popping out. After I popped the staircases out, I was thinking I would do like a line of logs. I'd drop so many logs on the ground. Then after that, I would go ahead and drop more logs, but except now, they're like tall logs going straight up and down. What I want to do is make sections of 3 in here. That'll be 3 sections of 3. That's a golden number, a good ratio. After that, I'll go into the inventory and take jungle logs, smash them down into planks, and put jungle planks on here. Now, after I have the jungle planks, what I want to do is make a small window right here, maybe like 3 blocks tall. Following that theme of 3, it's a great and golden number for all builds, you could say. I want to wrap this all the way around the side and give the villagers a little bit of love, but also light inside of their life. Like the true light of the life that I am inside of the villagers' lives here. Look at that thing. We'll have something like that. We have the spruce that matches perfectly with oak. Then we have oak logs continuing up in the middle and probably wrapping around on the top. And then we got jungle with glass panes inside of it right there. I could texture it with like stripped logs, but heck, I might not even have to. We got so much texture down there and so much cool action right there. Let's do this. And now, my dear friends, it's time for a pause. A quick pause for enchanting. Alright, so I have hit a small little problem here. Back over at the OG original enchanting setup, my axe. Look at that thing, it's in desperate condition. These 3 diamonds that I have right here are the final 3 diamonds that I can find anywhere. We need to go mining again really soon. Because of the changes in 1.20.2, I think we'll go mining after I update the world to 1.20.2 after Optifine drops. Axes. I'm looking for a good axe here. I cannot take anything less than Fortune 2. See, here's the thing. If I could level up my axe a little bit and maybe either get Fortune 3 or maybe even Efficiency 5, then I think that would be very beautiful. I could combine the axe with hopefully the extra levels that I have after I run through this process and... Ooh, that's good looking for sure, but... It's not in. Or, actually, what if maybe it is? What if I get efficiency 4 and then I could just, like, combine the axes? Oh, man. I'm regretting that right away. Efficiency 4. There we go. It's potentially beautiful looking. Hopefully, there's a little bit more to it. Maybe Silk Touch. Give me Silk Touch, baby. Oh. Well, actually, that'll make it cheaper, I guess, and I don't care that much about. I know. What am I talking about? It could be better. Okay, this is the last time I just blind take something, but that could still be better. No, Aqua Affinity. I don't remember if I have that, but I'll take it. And here we are. Fortune 3. It's got to have a little bit more. It has a little bit more, but exactly what I didn't need. Oh my gosh, my luck is terrible. I'm not doing that. No. I'm going for efficiency. This is going to be the one. I'm keeping it no matter what. Oh, I'm keeping it no matter what. That's beautiful. Sadly, though, there went all of my levels. I'm going to need a new XP farm soon. Swing it over to the Combiner Machine 3000 here. Let's see how expensive this is going to cost me. Ooh, that's going to run me a lot of levels, but this is going to be one of the best axes in the entire game. How about the other way around? Ooh, it's going to be even more. Okay, fine. If you insist, I'll take the cheap one. Deal. You've got a deal. Eventually, we'll run a contest and I'll have you guys name some of my tools, but the best name for this axe is... Ooh, it's obviously Arthur. Arthur, my friend, you are definitely coming with me. All right, with a good axe now created, I think it's about time I get back over to the base and get back to it. Ooh, that axe. Whew, that's a nice axe. Good news, bad news. Great news, the build has progressed so much. I've been hard at work over this past, hour or so, and look at this thing. I mean, I got logs all over, fences all over, staircases, everything like that. It took so long because I had to wait for the oak trees to grow. While I was waiting for it to grow, I went in and detailed. Bad news, it took so long. Villager breeder. So the front of our villager breeder is going to be on the back side of the build. Eventually, I know it for sure. We're going to have a bunch of builds over here, so it'll be kind of like the front, but for now the back. What I want to do is have a staircase walking up to the build, and then we're going to set the main floor up on this level right here. For the main floor, I would like to get a little bit more expensive. I would like to use one of the nicest looking wood types of all time. Now, villagers are villagers. We want to keep them safe. We're going to have a basement part to this breeder as well, but to keep them safe, we come in with the torches first. Never forget those. Now, beautiful news. Inside of this little game that we call Minecraft here, a villager breeder is actually one of the easiest things, one of the easiest farms, I should say, that you could build. It's actually really simple and there's not too much to it. As long as you understand the mechanics and how they actually work, you could set one up in basically any size or any shape. For this villager breeder that we're building right here, we're not even going to need to use up the entire building here. All we're going to really need is this half of the building that I'm building on dirt. For the most part, usually, when setting up a villager breeder, you're going to want to start by creating a dirt platform somewhere. This could be a 9x9 platform. It could be technically a 3x3 one. It could be tiny. Now, for this villager breeder, I want to get the villagers inside of it and keep them inside of it. And so I'm going to build basically a wall over on this side. I want to leave it so I can look in them. On this wall that I'll be setting up, I'm going to do a little trick here with trapdoors. I'm going to place a trapdoor right there and then actually open it. Then I'm going to jump down and put a trapdoor right there. More specifically, I'll show you how it works in a second, but essentially, this combination of trapdoors right there, bottom one open, top one closed, that's gonna basically kind of power the whole villager breeder. Or at least, enable it to work. So now, my sweet and dear friends, it's time for today's bonus build. Even though we're only part of the way through today's build, we need to set something else up. Sheep. Oh, wonderful sheep. I kind of can't believe it that we moved all the way out here to this base, settled down, everything like that, and then I never even thought to consider to collect some of the native wildlife over here. Of course, we got cows for the food, but the sheep have just been wandering around for the longest time. We'll build a sheep farm later, but one of the big villager supplies that we need for this breeder here is going to be a couple beds. So actually, while I'm at it, might as well get you guys started. We'll go ahead and shear both of you. Thank you so much for your contribution to donation to the plan. This new home, I know you will love it. I knew you were getting anxious. This the previous home. All of this space is too big and open. How about this small? Not cramped at all. No. Small. One at a time, please. I know you're excited. One at a time. Yes. One at a time. How about this small? Not cramped at all. Little pen right here. And the pink flowers, yeah, they gotta go. I don't know if you can eat the grass, so I'll move those. Little bit of light to make it feel a little bit more like home sweet home, right? And shear you. and think. By the way, for the bonus build, oh, that's my bad. Oh, they're all mad at me too. Oh no, oh no. We gotta run, and we gotta hide. Think fast, think fast, think fast, think quick. I think what I can do is run over here and hide with the villagers. Those bees, I'm gonna have to give them like 5 minutes. I think they'll cool down eventually. Ah, never mind. They calm down way quicker than I thought. 2 notes to self. In future tree farm, do not put any flowers nearby, for bee nests will happen. And second note, Arthur, you're way too quick. You're gonna have to calm down, buddy. Anyways, I was gonna say the bonus build. It was a temporary thing that we were just doing for a little while, but I saw a couple comments about it, and so I figure why not? We'll bring it back. 5 more episodes. So, Minecraft, sweet Minecraft. Inside of Minecraft, moving villagers is one of the most tedious, kind of annoying, painful things that you could do of all time. We talked all about it last episode. We'll talk a little bit more about it today. For the villager breeder that we're setting up, we're gonna need to move both of these villagers over to it. I'm thinking the easiest way to do this is probably gonna be using workstations, and hopefully you will just like magically want to lock onto the workstations, yes, that I am placing over towards this thing. Oh, you're so smart, I love you. I think if I can move these villagers far away from my base, like out that way, where there's no other workstations, this will go very, very well. Or yes, you just walk that way. That works, my friend. For this little old villager breeder, we need to get 2 villagers inside of that building up there. And I guess it's not gonna be too hard. The hardest part about moving villagers around a base is if you got a base like mine where you like decorate with the workstations, it will lock on to random things like barrels. I hate to say it, but if you're having that problem, the only thing you can do is take the barrels away and hopefully it'll focus. But anyways, villager, please. Yes, I put one inside of the building and I didn't know this was gonna work. I didn't know this was gonna be so easy and simple. Here you are, home sweet home. I should have probably put the windows in so you don't accidentally leave the building or anything like that, but home sweet home. Wow. Now you, my good friend, we're gonna need you to go to that composter, yes. And once you go over there, you're trapped forever. So, wow, just like that, villager number 1 has been successfully relocated over to the villager breeder. We'll put a workstation right there, a composter specifically, and let you get to work. Now next up, back over here, my dear villager friend, we need to pull it off again. Stone and mason, no more. Become farmer? Okay. You're gonna be the difficult one. All right. I swear, there's like a set rule in the game. If one villager cooperates, the other mustn't. To build a villager breeder inside of Minecraft, we're gonna need to have a couple things going on here. Thing number 1, we're gonna need to have at least 2 villagers. Thing number 2, only one of those villagers needs to work. Or technically none of them. But if you want an automatic one, a farmer is gonna be the way to go. Start by building a small contained area. What I like to do is have a water source hidden under a composter in the middle. On top of that composter, to stop the villagers from jumping up and jumping back down, breaking cropland, we're gonna put a slab right there. Then I'm gonna continue tilling all of this land over here. Inside of this building that I'm gonna finish up in a second after we get the breeder going, we're gonna put a ceiling on it. 100%, your villager breeder should have a ceiling because if lightning strikes a villager, it'll actually turn into a witch. And when it does that, it's a witch forever. Not great. Now, if you want to fully automate your villager breeder here, we'll have a farmer villager working the full time. The farmer villager is going to harvest and replant crops right here. The farmer villager, our friend, is basically going to be in charge of this whole op here. Once these crops grow up, the farmer will start harvesting and replanting. Eventually, its inventory is going to fill up, and then it'll actually share food with the other villager inside of this thing. But just sharing food isn't enough. Right now, it's not going to work. For a villager breeder, there is another requirement, and that's going to be extra beds. If we place one bed down with these trapdoors placed right here and then another trapdoor placed right there and opened up, the villagers are going to think they can get over to the beds. Since they think they can get over to the beds, trapdoors are basically invisible to them, then they're going to claim the bed. If I put a second bed down, the second villager out of 2 will be able to claim that. If I put a third bed down, the third future villager out of 3 will be able to claim that. Now, villager bed claiming mechanics are relatively complex. If I have a block in the way right there, then the villager is going to know that there's no chance, no way that it'll actually be able to reach the bed, so they'll unlink from the beds and unclaim them. The beds are now like open beds that any villager in the future could walk over to and say, hey, that's actually going to be my bed. On Minecraft to Java Edition and Minecraft Bedrock Edition, the mechanics are going to be basically the same. Now, because it's the middle of the day, the villagers might not necessarily claim the beds immediately because they don't really need them. But once it becomes the next nighttime or close to it, if green particles haven't popped up around your villagers signifying that they've claimed a bed, yeah, if that hasn't happened quite yet, it'll happen at the next nighttime. So now we have 3 beds, we have 2 villagers, and we have food. But the villagers don't have food. Right now, this breeder still won't work. Hey, by the way, another thing I recommend doing with your villager breeder is securing it fully. If you're gonna have zombies anywhere nearby, like for example, not speaking from experience, underneath random dark trees where a creeper spawns and blows up your pet dog, well, yeah, if you're gonna have any of that going on, maybe put like an iron door or something. Now, with this villager breeder, we're gonna end up dumping the baby villagers downstairs. They're gonna end up down here. So I'm gonna put a second iron door right there, and then I'm actually gonna make this thing, the whole dropping area, a little bit safer. So lighting up right down here, I'm gonna put a cobblestone and then 2 more cobblestone right there. We're gonna leave this spot open. I'm gonna break that back cobblestone and move it back a little bit actually, and have that. Just a few mind-bogglingly speedy seconds later, and all of a sudden, the aesthetics are looking pretty good down here. I have a small room with, like, dirt all over the floor. Maybe I'll come back in later on and put it to coarse dirt if grass creeps in somehow. Over here on this little dropping setup I set up, we're going to finish it off with a fence gate and a water source at the back right there. That water is going to continuously push anything that falls down there into this room right here. Kind of like a holding room. Now, I think maybe we could also add a window to this holding room, if you will. And put bars. Bars. Yeah, that could look really cool. From the outside here, this building is looking really, really cool. But it's also looking half finished. Before we finish up the breeder and get it fully activated, for Bonzo, and for safety of the villagers, before we can do any of that, I need to put a roof on this beauty. And I've got the perfect idea. Even better, not only do I have the perfect idea, but I think I have way more than enough wood for this whole thing too. So we're gonna kick everything off with a dark oak roof. I think dark oak with these combinations that we've done so far, whew, it's gonna look beautiful. Even better, I got so much of it. So we'll kick it all off with dark oak wood or something. Then for the shape of this roof, I was thinking, what if I did something a little bit more creative? Instead of just a 45-degree angle or something like that, which could look cool for sure. But what if instead of that, we go up and almost make like a, kind of like a barn-shaped roof? But I don't want to call this a barn. This isn't the villager barn or nothing like that. We make a barn-shaped roof. That should line up perfectly with the middle, I think so. Jump down and do it again as the depressing rain sets in. Yeah, so today, guys, the build, I have been having so much fun. I don't know what it is, but like, well, I guess I kind of know what it is. I love to build inside of Minecraft, but ever since we moved over to this base, I've been going crazy and having so much fun working on it and like filling it in, decorating it, detailing it, everything like that. I always wonder if this stuff kind of like translates in the videos or whatever, but with this world and this base so far, I've been more inspired than I think I've ever been, or at least like more inspired than like 2 years time or something, with like builds, ideas, creativeness, and more importantly, trying to make a base that feels whole and kind of like fits together. I'm always curious though, so like big question for you guys. When it comes to Minecraft, working on a base, building farms, whatever, do you like to build? And maybe more for this series, I've been thinking about doing like maybe more episodes focused on building and how to build techniques, things like that. Is that something that sounds interesting to you, or nah, maybe not? Stick to the farms, exploration, stuff like that. So anyways, here, just a bit of time later, and we end up with a roof shape that looks something like that right there. The build feels big, tall, strong. I mean, look at this thing, it's filling in, it looks good. But it also looks a little bit flat. I think I could detail it up a little bit better, and then over on this side, for now, I'm gonna do something with jungle. Maybe a big window up there or something? I'm not too sure. But check this. Now, starting down low here and working towards the top, Bonzo had this beautiful idea. What if I filled leaves in down here and made like a proper garden or something in this small ledge that I left? Now in the future here, I think I'm gonna have basically one option, and that's gonna be come back in here with azalea leaves, build an azalea farm and put flowers in there. But for now, I'm in a small base with like bushes all over the place. That looks good. Now, on the other hand, scaling up to the top of the build on the side that we can see, and I'll do it on the other side too, but to detail it easily and add more variation depth to it, all I need to do is quite literally do that. If I go all over this roof and put slabs on it, it's gonna immediately make it look a little bit more interesting from the distance, and like, I mean, it's easy to do. It's way easier than to add like a second roof or anything like that. Not that that's a bad idea too. That could be cool. Big building tip that I have for you: if you end up doing a roof like this on your build, don't think too much about it. Just come in with more of the same type of roof block that you use, so like spruce for me, and just kind of throw it in randomly. Make some of it step up. Try not to make patterns though. If you make patterns on the roof, it's gonna look a little weird. Wow. Just a tiny bit of time later, and we got a roof that looks way better looking. A side that still has a hole, I'll come back and get it in a minute. And villagers that are more than ready and willing to make their very first child. Let's talk about it. So the villager breeder, the whole time I've been working on this thing today, it's been kind of running. The crops have been growing, the farmer has been working. I put a block over here to stop the breeder from working. If I pull this block out, I'm not too sure what's going on, like food-wise with these villagers, but they might almost be ready to breed. Actually, they look at each other romantically and then, walk away. Not yet. But check this out. I left a way into this farm, so at any point, I could manually come into this farm and breed the villagers if I need, like, a baby ASAP or something. To force start this villager breeder, all that I need to do is spread a little bit of food inside of this farm. I have no clue how much food this villager has right now, so I'll just go ahead and do, like, way more than enough to be sure. With that block removed and the food inside of the inventory, look at this. The villagers immediately, they start trying to make sweet love. They go ahead and, or at least one of them's looking, well, never. We're not getting into the logistics of it, but anyways, there's a small baby inside of this farm now. It's hiding inside of its mother right now, but yes, small baby. Now check that out immediately. And check that out immediately, instinctually. The small child wants to run over to the bed. They like to jump on the bed in the daytime. However, back up top, because of this trapdoor setup that I created over here and some beds spaced out so the villagers can never accidentally get into it. With this setup, the baby villager will walk straight off the ledge and drop. Then down here, I have a water thing to safely move them over into this holding cell. Now, with no pressure plates by the door or anything like that, all the villager can do is basically walk around and wait to grow up. It's going to take 20 minutes, but it'll be 100% safe and 100% flawless. Back up top, since the baby villager can't get over to the bed, it should eventually de-link from the bed, allowing the villager to continue running. Once the crops are harvested up again by this villager right there, it'll share them, and they'll make a second baby. Then a third, then a fourth, and a fifth, and a sixth, forever. Until my world is lagging with babies. And so for a villager breeder, that's actually just about it. 3 beds, 2 villagers, and a little bit of food, and they'll actually start making babies wherever. And throw a farmer villager into the mix, and you can automate your breeder super easily. So for the villager breeder today and everything like that, we could just about call it quits. The build is fully functional. Anytime we're walking around talking about anything, doing anything over at the base, the villagers will be reproducing and making even more for me. For some of the next future projects that I'd like to take on, I'm actually going to go ahead and just let that villager breeder run up for a little while. However, you see on our build here today, it's looking very, very nice from all the angles, but there's a giant hole, and it struck me. Oh my God, it struck me. Hey, by the way, I can hear the questions now. Of course I'm ethical. Of course I would never create jail cell for baby villagers and just let them sit there alone. I guess I'll give it a bed to jump on for fun. I think that makes me pretty nice. Oh, and well, would you look at that? They're going for it again. With so many beds over here, it's not going to be a problem at all. Give them just a second and just like that, our 4th villager of this area. Oh no, I didn't even finish the building. They're doing it again. We're gonna have a 5th villager over here already. Oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't have made this automatic. I'm second guessing it already. Anyways, here, my dear good friends, I've cooked up the solution. Over on the inside of the build, it's looking pretty nice. Cleaned it up a little bit. But over on the outside of the build, on this flat spot right here, over on the outside of the build, you see, in our previous adventures in a different far distant land, ridden with statues all over the place, I've learned one build technique. And that build technique, you see, I don't know if I have like a proper name for it or anything like that, but I do know that it works flawlessly every single time. Of course, with any villager breeder, you've got one rule. You see, my friends, if the villager breeder is going to be a villager breeder, well, legally, legally, of course, you need villager statue, giant head, on the top of it to cap it off. Oh my gosh, I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. I think I don't want to like blow up my build too much, hype it up too much, but I don't know. I think it's oddly, ominously gorgeous. You let me know what your take is down below, but that's today's build. The beautiful villager breeder, complete with a giant statue, a wonderful roof, and maybe even the most cozy feeling area inside of our world right over here. I imagine it now. Iron farm soon, lanterns, chains, we come back and hang them off of that thing, hanging signs too. And oh, wow, that's gorgeous. Stunning, beautiful, and even breathtaking. Dearly and sincerely, thank you all so much for watching today's guide episode. Those are villager breeders, the mechanics behind them, and how you build them. I hope this episode helped you out, and even more importantly, I hope you enjoyed it. Smash like if you haven't yet subscribed. It's been me, Waddles, Bonezo, and forever. Goodbye.